That pesky photographer keeps trying to catch Kiss off guard. Ace and Peter are intercepted.
Hey, Kiss, look this way! Nuts!
Then he tracks down Paul at a restaurant.
Oh, shucks! Hey, Gene, over here! Darn!
But Kiss has the last laugh. Kiss Unmasked, the all-new album on Casablanca Records and 6. Kiss Unmasked. Available at Budget Tapes and Records.
Click T when you want a t-shirt. Click T accessories too. Click T any way you want it now at clicktshop.com.
Hi everybody, it's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast. What you do?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is...
Nicholas Buckland, and with me, it always is...
Jason Herndon. And Joe Lalich.
Yeah. I sure have changed in the looks department.
Well, no, with Nicholas is Jason Herndon, and...
okay, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
After a roaring start.
Joe is a little rusty because he wasn't here the last time we recorded, and we haven't recorded in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So I don't even know, who are you?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
So, welcome to the episode, guys. And this week we are going to do another skip or play. We haven't done one in a little while, and a lot of people have been asking about when the next one was going to be. And so that'll be today. And we are going to do the Unmasked album. So it should be an interesting, lively discussion, considering I know how Joe feels about the record, and I know how I feel about the record, and Nicholas is probably pretty fond of it as well. So,
and Nicholas knows how he feels about the record.
Yeah. So that's the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
we're not telling.
Yeah.
Just keep it to ourselves.
Just go to Click Tea Shop. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Right.
Bye.
Yeah. So
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Yeah, but as Joe said, Click Tea Shop, you saw our little bumper spot at the beginning of that. Go buy some swag from Ed, great guy. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Tinder and
Grindr,
farmersonly.com,
TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah. Are we going to have to start a TikTok? No.
Nicholas is already all over TikTok.
MySpace, Friends Reunited. We've got some old ones we haven't taken down yet.
Highschoolreunion.com.
Yeah,
We got ads over there.
Oh man, that was so early here.
Classmates.com.
Yeah.
ICQ. That's a chat program. I don't know. So no. Anyway, yeah. Kiss My Collectibles and Kiss My Wax on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Follow us. Patreon if you want to support us, and to all those that do, thank you. So there's our plugs. What are we doing next? I haven't done this in so long.
Do we want to do What's in the Box or New Confessions? Which one, Nicholas?
Well, let's do New Confessions, because this kind of ties in with our theme today. So yeah, cool. Here's New Confessions. So, celebrating the what? Yeah, it's like, I haven't done it yet.
We're doing it live, Joe.
We'll do it live.
We're doing it live. Okay, so celebrating the 40th anniversary of Unmasked, which is our Unmasked theme. It's very timely that we've also got the new stuff. Is a whole bunch of Unmasked stuff which popped onto Kiss Online during the week, and we ended up with a bunch of T-shirts, a couple of posters, and I think the last thing was a coffee mug, wasn't it? What do we think of these? We'll show them up as we talk about them, but do we like them? Do we not like them?
All of the stuff, or just the coffee mug?
Oh no, no. Talk about which things you like out of those. Which one?
Well,
we'll show them up as we're talking about them.
Well, I'm a big fan of, a lot of people. I guess the album artwork is pretty polarizing, and a lot of people aren't a fan of it. But I'm a fan of it. But it's probably because that's one of the first records I ever bought when I was, young. It's one of the first records I remember. But the stuff that's come out, I quite enjoy. I love the fact that we can get a poster, the poster that came in the album, and it's not folded, so it's a rolled poster. It's not divided out.
But it's small. This poster's small.
Is it? What size is it?
18 by 24. I thought I saw.
That's 18 by 24. That is small.
Centimeters.
It does say
18 by 24 inches. So
okay.
Well, that sucks. I was hoping for like a 2 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You would think that it would be the big
like original, a regular poster size.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't take the blow up, is it? Or what was it? Was it in Casteria?
Yeah, it was reproduced in the 2014 Unmasked reissue, and it's beautiful. Okay. I didn't realize that, so I'll still probably get it anyway. But the T-shirts that have come out, you've got the T-shirt, and we'll show all these up here that have Gene and Paul on the cover with their respective personalized instruments at the time. That has the Japanese writing along the side, and it's kind of purple.
I wonder what the Japanese writing says.
I don't know.
While we're talking, I'm going to Google Translate that on my screen. Hang on, so I'll just take the feed. Hang on a second. We're really doing it live.
We're really doing it.
Hang on a second. It says, Google Translate says, masked kiss. Masked kiss. So it must also say unmasked, probably.
Interesting.
The identity of the mask. It's like, how Google Translate flicks around. Light face kiss. It's flicking around.
We also have an ad on Face Kiss.
Yeah.
So you guys know, you can go check out.
That's right. The Facebook, yeah.
So I think that. There's another T-shirt that has kind of like I don't know, is it like an inverted kind of negative image? I don't know, how would y'all describe that?
So what that is that one is taken, and we'll show it up here, directly from the I think it's the British promo ad, which they ran in as a duotone. So it was a black and white ad, but the Gene's makeup was in red, and Peter, and but basically around where their faces are was run in red. So it was just like a black and white with a single other color. I believe Paul's hand wasn't red in the original one, so I'm not sure why it wasn't. We'll show it up here, and strangely his lips are missing too, and not in red, oddly. But
and his pointer finger is not red. And they missed that.
Yeah. So so yes, that's what it's based on. Anyway, so like they're obviously going back to a lot of the source material of stuff that was out at the time and creating new stuff from it. I quite like the poster, the square poster that they've based on at the bottom right in what we're looking at. Which is quite nice
canvas
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So the canvas. I guess that's a piece of canvas stretched over a frame. It says.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had looked at the Unmasked poster, thinking, that might be something that I would add to the collection. But when I saw that it was so small, I was like, I'm not doing that. So, yeah. So I
love the live one. Like I know people have a problem with we'll talk about the drummer being darkened out, but I love the color scheme of that. That reminds me of the old screen printed shirts from the 80s that you used to get. Like they didn't use all the they didn't have a full color range, and so there's only about 3 or 4 colors in there. But I absolutely love that.
You notice how Nicholas wasn't. We're not, by contract, we're not allowed to actually say the drummer's name. We just have to say the drummer, because Nicholas, you just said how the drummer is.
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah, we're not allowed.
Okay, well, it's clearly an Eric picture, but I mean, technically, yes, because Unmasked Tour 80 should have shown Eric. Eric should never be on the cover because Eric had nothing to do with the album. But he should be on the tour shirt.
Right.
Surely.
Right.
So we were discussing beforehand about that T-shirt and why Eric's blacked out, and we've seen a lot of back and forth in several different groups on Facebook about this, and no one really has a good idea, maybe there's people that have good ideas why, but maybe we don't necessarily know for sure. I love that T-shirt and will probably buy it. I did buy the colored version of the T-shirt that they had up. Nicholas thinks that had already been out, and it might have been, but I went ahead and bought that. But anyway, the Unmasked Tour shirt, it's interesting because I think Joe probably agrees, maybe Nicholas agrees, that it's probably just there's a rights issue somewhere, because there really wouldn't be any other reason to darken out Eric Carr from anything that he was involved in unless there's a rights issue. Now, could be totally off base, and I was telling these two guys beforehand, before the show, that I had commented that I thought it was a rights issue, and it probably had something to do with Vinny, because he has registered a trademark of some version of Eric's makeup, and he's caused problems in the past when they release new products with Eric's makeup or Vinny's makeup. So I think it could be a rights issue. They just don't want it to have another legal battle with Vinnie Vincent. Who knows? But, I posted that somewhere, and Keith LaRue came around right behind me and said he's confused as well. And I figured that guy would know more than anybody, but he's confused as well because they have other products with Eric's likeness on it. So,
yeah, I mean,
who knows?
obviously album covers are free of use to
Right.
do it. But I mean, the ones I went through all the T-shirts on Everything Kiss and just saw that the shirts that do have Eric on it of recent years only appear to be the junk food T-shirts. And junk foods are that weird one where they kind of create bootleg shirts and then they pay a license fee. So you get, I don't know if you've seen a lot of those junk food tees. They have like weird eras. They might have the band from Unmasked, but then they'll have Animalize across it. They're almost deliberately bootleg, like they're deliberately mixing and matching eras. It's not an art. Like they'll have Crazy Nights with a picture of, I think there was the Sphinx in the background or something. It's a deliberate bootleg thing that they do, and they've had Eric on quite a few occasions, like photographs. I've got one, the one that I wore when I was meeting Paul is with the brown shirt and yellow Kiss logo, and it's got the band from the front of the People magazine cover. So it's not stuff that it seems like Live Nation are producing, but it is stuff where someone goes and seeks the license, they'll go, okay, do it. So, but it could just be they just want to retain the Catman, Spaceman, Demon, Starchild, and not put the Fox face on anything.
Could be.
That's interesting because I didn't think about that angle either. That could be it. Who knows? So maybe we'll find out one day. So what else was there? In the bottom
mug.
There's the coffee mug. Yeah.
Yeah. The other things they have are the LP, the Unmasked art T-shirt, the actual album cover art T-shirt, the whole the full album, and then the Gold Record Award is in the group. But Jason, you said that had come out already.
So did the full album art. That stuff had already been out.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff had been around, right? But this is sort of the collection that they've grabbed together on, at least what I'm looking at on shopkissonline.com, and then the canvas and the poster, and that's it.
So what's missing that we thought they would have done?
Oh yeah, good question, Nicholas.
Yeah.
So what's bizarre is for the last 2 years, we've been getting these anniversary editions on colored vinyl, and for some unknown godly reason, when the 40th anniversary of Unmasked was announced, there's no colored vinyl announced. That doesn't mean it's not coming, but it's just odd to me that nothing. I don't understand why wouldn't you keep the.
Well, interestingly enough, I talked to a couple of people behind the scenes on that, and I have it on good authority that it's because they ran out of orange vinyl. They wanted to run it in orange, and they've been out. So yeah.
So and it also made me think too that it seems like around these anniversary editions that they also release a gold or platinum album that you can also purchase alongside of it. And sometimes, like in the case of Unmasked, the Unmasked one was already available to order.
Sort of inexplicably, right? That just sort of popped up just out of nowhere one day. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And to reflect album sales, the elder one will be released with a tin award.
Oh, yeah.
Sales over 20,000.
Right.
Aluminium foil.
Yeah. But the reason why I mentioned that was because we had the anniversary edition of Hot in the Shade, and we don't have a Hot in the Shade album award. You know, so there's no non-makeup album awards available at this time that I'm aware of. I don't believe. So it seems very inconsistent to me. It's like if you're going to jump on this thing of doing anniversary editions, and you're going to put out new anniversary merchandise, and you're going to do an anniversary colored vinyl, and you're going to do an anniversary gold album award, you do it for all of them. You don't make it to where people's. I mean, if somebody wants to buy all of this stuff, if someone wants to buy all the gold albums, or someone wants to buy all the colored vinyl, you don't make it where you have all of them, but Unmasked is missing, or you have all of them and Hot in the Shade is missing. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Especially if you have nice round numbers that a lot of these records are falling on at some point. You know, and you go, okay, this is the 35th, this is the 25th, this is the third, whatever it is, the 40th, you know? You kind of feel like, all right, that's when people's antenna are going to kind of be up, and there might even be a thing on Consequence of Sound or Blabbermouth or someplace where somebody goes, hey, today was released 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whatever it is, and people would go, oh, I might go take a, you know what I mean? So there's like a whole marketing thing that you would think that they'd be able to capitalize on there. And it feels like if you'd have just, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, so we won't go on too much, but it just feels like if you'd have made a concerted effort to go, okay, here are the dates, here are the records we want to put out, and let's put out a nice package, bundled, cool package for each of these records that people know as they come out, you're getting the same thing every time. Yep. And you can put some of this little tchotchke coffee mug, you know, T-shirt, put that stuff around it. But if you knew that, even, God, do like a $200 crazy over-the-top set with something, you know what I mean, like something badass, but you knew that it was coming out every time, I think all of us would be a lot more in line. But right now, our expectation is, that's 35 years, I have no idea what's coming out. It could be a record award, or we could wake up tomorrow and Asylum could have come out for no apparent reason on a gold record award or whatever. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. So
yeah, the consistency is not as good as it should be. So yeah, very frustrating. But anyway, that being said, there's some cool Unmasked stuff, new Unmasked stuff that's out, and I've picked up a couple things from it, and I suspect that several other people will. So I dig most of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
New confessions. Okay. All right.
Yep. All right. Next up, we've got a look inside the box.
I'm gonna open it.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Inside the box.
Ha 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 ha! And
John's pipe.
Yeah, right. And we're back. We'll do it live.
You want me to go first?
No, go ahead. Yeah, sure. Do it.
Yep. So I only have one thing. Hopefully, the next time we record, or next two times we record, I have a couple of really cool things coming that I can show. Saw this the other day. It's not Kiss, but it's Kiss related. And I thought I can probably find one of those pretty cheap on eBay, and I did. And I don't think that a lot of people will probably collect this kind of thing, but you know, for $10, I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna buy that because it also reminds me of my childhood too. So I bought the 1980 JCPenney catalog, and I'm sure these guys know why I have this. But do you out there that are watching
Santa?
Love Santa?
And
no,
JC
I have it. I have it because I want to buy.
He likes bad paintings of Santa Claus.
These stuffed animals. No, no. So what's cool is, and you've probably seen this online many times, but on page 562 of the Christmas 1980 catalog, you get this advertisement.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, right. So this advertisement, for those that are listening, has the Dynasty wooden cassette crate cabinet holder, and then it has the
spray
LP
painted
crate.
wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It has
Yeah.
the LP crate holder that has the solo albums on it, and it also has a logo T-shirt with the band inside. It also shows the toy guitar and the amp, and of course we're showing this up on screen now. And it shows the Tiger record player and the Kiss Your Face makeup kit. And what is lovely about it is looking at the prices of these things.
Yeah, the decimal points are all screwed up.
Yeah. The guitar is $11.88. The amplifier is $16.99.
Yeah.
The record player is $27.77.
And even more ironically, you could hear parents around the country in 1980 going, "No way I'm paying $17 for that plastic piece of crap."
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Kids
Yeah.
crying everywhere.
Right. The record
Actually,
player,
one of the cool things about that is have a look at and we'll show it up on screen. The guitar has got the little clip-on attachment, which looks like a mini amplifier for that guitar. Now that didn't come with the guitar, and I'm pretty sure it also didn't come with the pop rock amp. So that was obviously some piece which was meant to clip on, and I don't know what was going on there, whether it was released with other versions of the pop rock amp or that. But yeah, it's an interesting little win. Yeah.
So anyway, $10. I couldn't
That's
pass
great.
this up. I thought this was pretty neat to have, and so there you go.
So I don't know much about those catalogs where Kiss makes appearances. Are there many others? Do we
A few. Not heaps.
Yeah.
couple?
Yeah. So and interestingly, was this? Do you know, Nicholas? Was this the only one that showed? Was this the only J.C. Penney catalog that showed this merchandise? Because I thought a lot of this merchandise came out in '79. Is that not the case?
I think it did, and this kind of looks like a big, almost like a big clearance sale, doesn't
Right,
it?
I was just
so
going to
the
say,
re-
yes, it came out in 79, 80, 81, 82,
So the reason why I'm
83.
asking, the reason why I'm asking that is, do we know if any of these pieces appear in earlier catalogs, a '78 or '79 catalog? Do we know?
I've never seen any of those ones. The only stuff I've seen in earlier catalogs are there was some of the Image clothing was shown in them, and there was a few of those Image clothing T-shirts. But I mean, this is the one and only appearance of the pop rock amp, and that doesn't appear to have even made it to stores. Like there's John Five's got one, and there's a couple of people have got them, and there's controversy. Are they even bootlegs that have been made up of the base model to because the only Kiss thing is that little sticker that goes on there that someone's bought a base model which was sold and stuck a Kiss sticker in there, and some people claim it was never for sale, or you couldn't, even though it has the number in there to buy. There's not enough of them around for it to have actually been purchased. There's like 2 or 3 around.
Right.
So it's a weird one, that one. But no, I've never seen them in any other.
I'm looking in the index to see if there's anything else in this catalog other than
Definitely.
that. No, I don't believe so either. So, what do you got, Joe?
There were Kiss condoms in that, right?
For the 5-year-old in you.
Yeah. So I got a couple of records in over the last couple of weeks. No huge, they're not, star-studded, super rare pieces, but I thought they were pretty cool. So the first one is the Argentinian copy of Dynastia with the, with the Spanish titles. So
Yes.
let me flip it around. I'm sure we can show it up on screen a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
We can get some photos up there, but yeah. And, as with a lot of these releases, you can see how flimsy and, it smells super moldy as the humidity, has taken its toll over time. So there's Spanish titles on the label as well. Are
the titles on the back Spanish?
They are.
Yes.
Yeah, because they look a lot bigger. Like the font looks, they look massive, don't they?
Yeah.
Charisma.
Yeah. So, a couple of other, different, markings for the, country-specific release. So, I thought that was pretty cool. Not super rare, but interesting to have. I like some of those oddball pieces or with Spanish titles or different kind of, foreign language titles and things like that, which are interesting. And then the other one I have here is the Mexican version of Dressed to Kill.
Is that on the Gamma label?
It is. It is, yeah.
The blue label?
Yeah, and what's weird about this one is, so, we've seen these quote-unquote laminated covers, or
Right.
we've seen them where they're stuck on. This one is, and I've seen them like this too. This is the first one I think that's been like partially stuck, partially taped. So a lot of times you'll see them in here where there's, where they're taped in. But then this one has actual glue that goes around the outside where they've taken, and I'm sure it's to probably protect from, the elements and that sort of thing, you would guess. So it's
Do you have a waterproof dress to kill?
Yes, I do. I have 2 of those. Yeah. Which, interestingly, on the anniversary, the scuba suit came out with it. So, you can, the Kiss scuba suit. So that's the blue.
It's orange.
That's, we're waiting for that to come out still.
Krill.
That's pretty good.
Oh, God.
Dressed to krill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's the label, Blue Gamma label on that
Blue
one.
Gamma label.
So
Nice.
yeah, a couple of small additions, but interesting little cool things to have. So
Yeah, I have that Dynasty too, and I love that piece. I love all the Argentina any of the South American releases that have alternate, either covers or titles because it's in Spanish or something. I love that stuff.
and is
Super.
is it the Colombian one where there's been some controversy over the Gene eye?
Yeah,
It has the. I contend that it's probably a misregistered issue, where the plates have gotten kind of mismatched, and you get that. They call it the bloody red eye in the inside corner of Gene's eye there, and things like that. So that stuff is kind of interesting to see and to kind of seek after.
Yeah, even if it is
Slept with so many women, he's got a case of pink eye or something.
yeah, yeah. Even if it is just
That might be the
Just
least
a-
of his problems.
yeah.
Exactly.
He's like,
It's north of the equator. We don't
only
talk
pink
about
eye.
God, it's done. All these crabs are like coming
Gross.
to his chest hair. It's like,
That's good.
Yeah, dear diary.
Even if it is a misregister, though, it's something that I would go out and find. I mean, it's just like the blue, the
Teardrop.
quote unquote teardrop rock
Yep.
and roll over. All RCA releases,
Sure.
record clubs are like that.
Yep.
They're not rare, but it's cool to have in your
Yeah.
collection. It's
Yeah.
it's a variant of some kind.
Yeah, those little weird offbeat kind of things are interesting to me. So yeah, added those in this week
Awesome.
or over the last
All right.
couple of weeks.
So,
Anyway.
so nothing in Nicholas's box, right?
no, it's all Australia Post is all. It's all on its way. So apparently, so
He's too
we've
busy
got-
spending his
nothing
money
arrived
on-
in time.
Too busy spending his money on Queen stuff these days.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Queen My Collectibles pretty soon.
Queen,
Yeah.
Queen Michael.
It doesn't make sense. Does
Really? It doesn't.
Yeah.
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 All right.
But Kiss My
So-
Collectibles. Yeah.
Shall we skip or play some of these
down
songs?
and a verb. Yes.
Yeah. We got it. Oh boy.
Hey, I've been homeschooling kids all week. So
Yeah, right.
That's an advert.
No.
It's like,
That's an adverb.
Oh,
Yeah.
off the rails.
all right. So
All right, Unmasked. Let's
Unmasked.
came out in 1980. Has Peter on the cover, not on the album. Anton Fig plays the drums.
Mm.
Lots of people playing different instruments on the record. We'll talk about them as we go through, but so let's start. I guess skip or play. Huh?
I was gonna say, did you know at the time? Because you
No clue.
you just thought it was Peter? Yeah. Okay.
No clue.
I know. There's always some people online who go, I knew straight away when I put this album on that it wasn't Peter. You know?
Maybe if you were 20, 25
Yeah.
and could deduce something like that, because it's clear that you can the playing is nowhere near similar.
But even
But,
then, wouldn't you go, whoa, well, that's interesting. He's doing something different that I haven't really heard him do. You would never make the leap that the original guys
Yeah.
aren't mostly playing the stuff.
Yeah.
I
And what
agree
do we think
totally.
of the wink then? Like, they would have received the poster and saw, why is he winking? Like, what's going on? Like, or maybe as a kid you just didn't investigate it that deeply.
I had no clue, but I was way too young. Joe, how old were you when it came out? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Did you get it?
I don't. No. Okay. I don't remember it coming out. Yeah, I was still kind of way too young at that point to. You know what I mean? I had gotten a Kiss record by that point, and I had gotten the figures, but I wasn't like all in, and it was not until much later when I was actually going to record stores and actually buying the records. I would see them in stores and things like that, but
I'm sure we'll get piles of comments and in YouTube and wherever we post this of people going, I knew immediately. Did you?
It's 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Did you? Like I said, I'm sure a few people. I'm sure a few people were, I'm sure a few people were skeptical or maybe figured out something, but
hindsight was 1980. Oh boy.
Yeah. So obviously this one had a totally different. This is where the popularity flipped to Europe and Australia for whatever reason versus the States. They were sort of on their decline in the States, and they were on their the rise in down here. And as I said, in 1980, 1 in 4 Australians owned a Kiss record, which was odd when you consider how many people would be elderly or children. So it's like that's a lot of records they must have. You
only had like 600 people down there in 1980, right?
Exactly.
But it went like wildfire.
It whipped through those.
598 people were over the moon.
I remember cleaning it. I remember cleaning out my It was my mum used to work for like some Catholic priests and stuff, and I remember going through their record collection. It was all uncool stuff, and then there was Unmasked was even in their old collection of it had the album poster in it and everything. But
what's that old joke?
It was even in their collection.
They handed it out in the suburbs. It was like.
Yeah.
So to that point, it peaks at number 3 in Australia, number 3 in Austria, number 4 in Germany, number 1 in New Zealand, and the Norwegian album charts it's number 1. Swiss album charts number 8. So big difference. And then in the U.S., the Billboard Pop Albums chart it reaches 35. So it's a big big difference in popularity at that point.
All right. Well,
and it was an odd direction for them, wasn't it, too? Because if you think of what were other bands doing around this time, you had young bands like Iron Maiden coming out. You had AC/DC dropped Back in Black. Sabbath dropped Heaven and Hell. Some quite heavy directions of almost moving into the heavy metal territory. It just had started, for a lot of these bands, and Kiss went for whatever reason went in the complete opposite direction.
Right.
Yeah, it's very strange. I mean, and I think that's part of the record as we're talking about it. I feel like this record feels to me, and I know Jason, you're gonna lose it when I talk about this record on it. But I feel like this record, it feels like leftovers from the Paul solo record, from like it's got some disco kind of vibes to it from Dynasty. It's got the Ace feel from Dynasty as well, but then it starts to look towards some of that poppier stuff. So and a little bit toward like what they were going to do with The Elder. It's like it just feels like it's a weird kind of directionless record, because it almost feels like they had been like they were a rock band, then they followed some trends, and now there's like a trend that they don't really fit in to me at this point. Right. You're getting into that kind of like skinny tie, electronic, Blondie, the Cars kind of stuff that they don't really know, at least in the States, right? That they don't really know how to kind of maybe assimilate as a band. And it feels to me like there's some vestiges of that stuff. So they don't really have a hook to go, oh, that's what people are into. I'm going to write some songs like that. Disco now has waned. And so this kind of feels like a directionless record to me. It's not to say that there's bad songs on it or aren't good songs on it, but it just feels like kind of like, gosh, what do we do now? And you wonder if there's anything that's born out of that births The Elder. and some of the thinking of, gosh, we don't really know what to do. What are we going to do? And they've already obviously made the decision to not be a heavy metal band or get back to that sort of aggressive kind of stuff, you know?
Well, definitely interesting points, and I think you're on to a lot of good, probably spot on things there. I don't know so much about is this, kind of leading into the Elder, because when you listen to the demos that they were cutting for the Elder, the music was very, very different, very straight ahead rock and roll, not even metal. It was very straight ahead rock and roll. And then Ezrin gets brought in, who is just coming off of the Wall.
Yeah.
And I think that is where the Elder is derived from. I don't really think it has anything to do with what they were doing.
I don't necessarily disagree, but especially for me, like a song like You're All That I Want, with Paul doing some of those background vocals so prominently, that song feels to me like it could go right on the Elder and not feel out of place. Where maybe some other songs on this record would go on the Elder and you'd be like, what is this? This feels really different from the Elder. Whereas that song, that's what I mean, like that one to me, and it's odd that it finishes off the record, that you go, oh, that it kind of feels musically like it could fit on it. I'm not talking about like the progressive nature or the storytelling or any of the other big grandiose things that they were trying to do,
Right. Interestingly enough, though, You're All That I Want is a demo from '78.
Got it. Yeah.
So, it's on the box set.
Right.
It was the first place that we ever heard it.
Yeah,
so.
It just feels like something that they could have plucked from here and put on the Elder, and it has that same kind of like that vibe to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So do we want to take it from the top and talk about it?
Let's take it from the top. Yeah.
All right. Who's going first?
You can.
Nicholas, is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you go first, Nicholas.
Oh, okay.
I always go first.
All right. Is that you? The starting off with a cover song, or a song that's completely written by someone else is an interesting one. Like a lot of Kiss always say, the demo. You should have heard the demo version. Well, we did find Jared McMahon's demo version, which we'll play right here. And that one actually almost sounds better to me. Like it's a little bit heavier, but it's you can see why they picked it. I think Paul said that they love the Raspberries, and it sounds like the Raspberries. Like it just sounds like that. So that in some way I agree with Joe that the album doesn't sound like they're in step with anything. The only thing that does sound in step with is probably maybe the dynamics of the actual production. Sounds a bit more in step. Like you'll hear the drums are that little bit more compressed. There seems to be, on the 2014 release, you got some nice bass back, but it always seemed, the bass never seemed to be warm enough to me, and the guitars are very dry kind of sounding guitar. So it almost sounded just a little bit like they were tweaking the production sounds to meet the 1980s standards. If not, the songwriting doesn't match at all, but they are way out of step. But this is actually my least favorite song on the record, I think. Although I may go forward and go, oh, that's total pants later on some of these other, or once Joe derives it, then a week later I'll hate them all because I'm like a sponge. But
no kidding,
no,
right?
I always skip this one. It's just like I don't like the way it starts. There's something about it has that. It's a bit too trebly for my ears. I don't like. I have that same reaction I have to Monster. It has that. It's too. Yeah, I don't like the sound of this.
Yeah, but Monster,
as Lars Ulrich's dad says, I would say delete this one.
Delete this.
Delete this.
But Monster has an error in.
Yes, yeah. But there's something about the sharpness of those guitars when it comes into that that first bit that's, I don't know, it grates with me. It's not
interesting.
No, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Okay, but So the song in general, you just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like. It doesn't sound like a Kiss song, and
it's
to
a-
find
so
out
it's
that
a skip.
that it's written by someone else, it just this is a definite skip for me.
Hindsight is 1980, Nicholas.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like a Kiss song because you saw in the credits that it was written by somebody else.
Yeah,
I can't believe that an Aussie from, is skipping probably the second most popular song off of the album from your country.
Don't worry, my love returns in spades for the rest of the album. Okay. It's this song.
If I'm going next, this is going to be a tough record for me. Actually, all the records are tough for me, but this one's really tough because it's my second favorite record in the catalog. And there's not a song that I don't like on the record. And I do listen to it often. So it's very, very difficult for me to step back from it and be objective and to tear any of these songs apart.
Hey, Nicholas, just take that bit and just when you're editing it and when you're putting it all together, Jason, just put that in front of every one of these Skipper plays. That little monologue.
That being said, I am
Having
going
said
to
that, yeah.
I am going to try to skip a couple of songs. So, but Is That You isn't going to be one of them. It instantly recognizable. It instantly identifies the album to me. It was so much a part of the whole era of Unmasked, that and Shandy, that it's hard for me to just say, I just, I put the disc on or the record on or whatever, and I just start with track 2. So I definitely play Is That You, and in case you were wondering, as we go along, we'll talk about the performance credits on each song because, definitely a lot of people playing other instruments on this record. But, of course, Anton's on the drums, but Paul plays the solo on this song, not Ace. And that's going to be the case on several songs. But as far as Is That You, it's definitely a play for me. Tear it apart, Joe.
Yeah, so for me, Is That You, I think it's the best song on the record. I think it has all of this. It oozes like the sleaze and the swagger, and it's Paul Stanley, the bravado of Paul Stanley, even though it's not written by Paul Stanley. I feel like it matches something that he would write, that he would talk about. That whole sort of like jilted thing, and just the relationship angle. I think it's badass. I don't love the chorus, but I think the verses are killer. And when it starts off and it's like it bursts out of the barn, it's easy to get excited about this record and go, "Oh my God, they're a rock band again. They're heavy, and it's got the swagger and all that stuff to it. I love it. I think it's great. Play it every day, all the time. Love it. Killer."
It's the only song on the record that gets that from Joe, I bet.
You never
I
know.
think we're just going to be polar opposites on this one.
I'm
So
full
I
of
skip and play the rest.
whatever Nicholas says. I'm just going to make some shit up that goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
So I'm pleasantly surprised, Joe. I'm glad to hear that. But
I think it's by far the heaviest song on the record. I think it's
by far
the most rock song on the record, and that's
sure.
To me, like I said, you hear it and you're like, oh, this is going to be a badass rock record. Too bad they didn't write one.
I think you're right. The verse is a lot better than the chorus. The chorus is a bit let down. And as we just heard in the demo version, the chorus is a little different in the demo version. It was actually better. I'll make sure that we grabbed the chorus part just to show you the differences in the way the backing vocals work. And I actually go, well, that's really quite nice.
Because it kind of turns into like a pop song in the chorus, and then it dives back into this heavy kind of trudging, metally rock thing on the verses, and I love the verses. I think it's and Paul's the raspy scream in there and stuff, and I love it. I think it's great, killer.
Yeah, I do too.
We could do a real minutia show where we skip or play each verse. Like skip this verse, play that chorus, the bridge. Skip. It's really
I hate that note right there. It's
exactly.
Terrible choice.
B flat.
We'll just run the charts and we'll mark out all the charts just like
and have like a little things where Nicholas goes like
like those when you're watching the the debates, and people have those
Oh,
twisty dials.
they,
it's like,
they call it the worm
woo,
here.
woo.
I don't know if they call that in the States, but they call it the worm. Watching the worm sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dial would just be like.
Ours would just be, mine and Joe's will just be the same one flipped in reverse because when I'm going up,
right,
he'll go
exactly.
down. Yeah.
Shandy.
Okay.
Hilarious. Shandy.
Nicholas.
That's you, Nicholas.
Love Shandy. This is one of the best songs on the album. Obviously the single for a very good reason, and this has an extra special thing for me, even though I wasn't really buying Kiss, so that this song was everywhere at the time. So I'm probably biased by that whole. It was played. It was, you heard it all the time basically. I remember that's one Kiss song I remember as a kid. I Was Made for Loving You, and Shandy just being played all the time. And it's funny, it hasn't lasted the test of time because I Was Made for Loving You is still played on rock radio, but you wouldn't have heard Shandy probably since the time. But I love the way Paul starts the verse really low, and as it builds up, he keeps it almost like rises and rises in the notes as you get to the chorus. So I mean, the unplugged version was nice on MTV. Eric Carr demoed this version. That's another thing I know about this. There's actually an Eric Carr demo version out there, which we can do a little grab of here just to hear Eric singing this one to prove his vocals.
Shandy, tonight must last us forever. Forever, we say goodnight and go home. But you know me very well, and I know you can tell me goodnight.
And I can't not mention the video with just there's one bit of it in, and I think I've shared it on another episode, but we'll play it again. There's a drum solo from Anton Fig that Peter has absolutely no idea what it does, and he just goes,
Yeah.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Yeah.
like that kind of, but not really hitting the drums either. So he's kind of about, like sort of miming in front of the drums. It's
Great.
really funny with that, right?
Print.
Yeah. it's probably the most laughable. It doesn't match. Even if you know nothing about drums, it's pretty clear he's not doing what the drums are doing in that part.
Well, I mean, who even knows if Peter had even heard the song?
He wasn't. Bet he would.
Right. So who the hell knows?
It's like straight up. Yeah.
So
first time he heard it's when he's miming to it. You can bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Shandy, for me, Tom Harper plays bass, and I believe Tom was a roadie or something like that. And then Paul plays the lead guitar on this one as well. So
Paul's the only Kiss member on it.
Yes, this is right. Paul is the only Kiss member on the whole song. So I love Shandy. I definitely play it. I think it's actually one of Paul's better ballads. I think it's leaps and bounds beyond like Hold Me, Touch Me, that sort of thing. But it has a special place to me. The whole record does. I know I've said it over and over, but I love the dynamics of the song. I love the the higher toms that come in because Peter never. In drum solos, he played a lot of higher toms and stuff, but he didn't do a lot of higher tom stuff, a lot of higher tom work in songs, generally on the records that they recorded. But what do you laugh? What do you want?
No, keep going.
But I love the song. I think it's great. I think he's been Paul has been accused of, who was it that he might have ripped off? Bruce Springsteen's Sandy, was that it?
Yeah, he says, yes. I heard Bruce Springsteen's song Sandy on the radio, and I liked something about the song. That's where it came from. It's not a steal at all. It couldn't have been Sandy because Bruce had... It could have been Sandy because Bruce had a song out with that title. Okay.
Oh, Sandy, you're always rising behind
Vinny came up with the name Shandy.
Yep.
Vinny Ponce, obviously.
Vinny Ponce. No,
Vinny Vincent.
Vinny Vincent is not on Rock and Roll Over. Do you remember that from the press kits episode?
Yeah. Joe, I dropped all my press kits on the floor and picked them up and wasn't sure whether we were going to find, this came with this press kit because I lost the whole lot. We find these things that were totally inaccurate.
Got it.
So, Shandy is a play for me. Joe?
It's a good song. It's fluffy. It doesn't really hold the test of time to me. It still has like kind of some of that the vestiges of disco in there a little bit from a production standpoint. I think it's a very well crafted song. I think it's a good song. I think it actually got new life when they kind of busted it out again in the later years with the acoustic versions and Paul playing it alone on stage. It shows what a good song it is that way. I think this really suffers from, not being being a very good time capsule of that time, but it's unfortunate because I just don't think the song itself holds up over all these years. But I think it's a well-crafted and well-written song, so I will play it.
Oh, wow. I do want to touch on, before we go into the next song, that this album gets a lot of now flack for its production value, and I quite like it. I quite like the production value. I don't want the record to sound like Rock and Roll Over. I generally dig compressed drums and a little bottom end and that sort of thing. But what was I going to say? I was going to say something about... You
were talking about the production. I was talking about, how it's a little bit of a time capsule of the time.
Yeah. I also really, really, really love 80s pop.
So do I, though. I love it.
So I don't really have an issue with with a record or an album or a song or a band or anything being, what's the word I'm looking for when it sounds like a particular era. You listen to something and that's where it came from.
Yeah.
What date?
Dated. Yeah. But don't you think that mostly the greatest things typically hold up? The greatest movies, the greatest songs, the greatest records hold up over time and have a timeless quality to them that you can't really quite put your finger on. This one to me is one where you just go, oh, that's definitely where that came from.
Right.
And I think it suffers
I don't disagree
from that.
with you. I don't disagree.
Why does I Was Made for Loving You hold up then still?
It doesn't.
Because that does hold up still. Oh no, but I mean, in terms of for the public, and maybe not for your personal taste, but in terms of still,
I think they heavied it up for the shows. I think it's much heavier than the version, on Dynasty.
Oh, but even on the radio, do they play that? Do they play that on the radio in the States?
What's the radio?
Because that would be played. That would be played at least twice a day here still on rock radio.
If you pull Sirius XM out of the mix and you just talk about terrestrial radio. Yeah. There's no place in Nashville that's playing it. No, the classic rock stations are the only thing. Classic rock stations are playing in Nashville are Rock and Roll All Night, and it's usually almost always the live version. If you're lucky, you'll hear Detroit Rock City or Shout It Out Loud. Outside of that, I don't hear any Kiss on the radio here.
Yeah. See, I Was Made for Loving You would still be played, and it'd be played in between rock songs. So for some weird reason, that song still holds up in terms of, down here it does anyway, and it seems to fit in nicely with rock songs, strangely.
Yeah, see, now that one even seems more disco-y to me than Shandy does, although they feel like they're of a piece and of a time period. I feel like I Was Made for Loving You even has more of that disco thing that Paul even himself has talked about, right? So,
but maybe that's just better songwriting, or more catchier songwriting, I should say.
Yeah,
that's the reason maybe it's held up. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if you're comparing those two songs from a songwriting standpoint, I think I Was Made for Loving You has the edge. It has a much, much hookier sing-along chorus.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Than Shandy, and out of the gate, it's got the hook, I think that, I just think it's a better written song.
It's much more sing-songy than Shandy is.
Yes, and I think that's probably why people gravitate to that more than they would a song like Shandy. So,
yeah.
Nicholas, talk to me.
What's interesting? Sorry, I was just going to say just one last thing with Shandy, and I noticed when they came down to Australia, they did Paul will sing it on stage. But it's interesting, for such a huge hit here, I remember being in the crowd and Paul was, trying to get the crowd to sing along with him. There was still a lot of people who didn't know it, and that shows you it was a huge hit in 1980. But for a lot of other people who would be at the concert, it's never played again. So it was, I wouldn't say it's a bit of a flop, but it definitely didn't have the, like, what he was expecting. I thought he thought he'd come out and play it and the whole crowd would light up and the whole crowd would just sing it, for him. But it doesn't. There's something about that song that hasn't lasted. Like it never escaped 1980 here. It was a huge hit at the time, but never to be played again. So that's a weird one with Shandy here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I could skip any of these songs.
Yeah. Talk to Me. This is Talk to Me. This is my favorite song on the album. So yeah,
Is it?
love it. I love Ace. I love the performance. I love when Ace gives you the little wink there. On the German TV show.
I don't care what other people say, they talk too much. It's a fascination.
I love his vocals on this. This is my favorite Ace song, and this is my favorite song on the record, and has that. It just mixes rock and that same kind of also guitar sound that we just heard in Shandy as well. I don't know if it works live as well, but it definitely, every single thing about this song I love. Like I could listen to this song all day. It's one of my favorites.
I would agree that it doesn't translate very well live. As many times as we've heard it on, the Inner Sanctum stuff from Australia in 1980, and even later on, I don't think it holds up as well live. But I love "Talk to Me" too. I'm not sure if it's my favorite Ace song from the three on the record, but man, I do love it. And Ace plays bass on this, and
so this is where they started to work separately from each other, didn't we? Just heard Paul working only on Shandy by himself.
Yeah, I was going to make that point. Yeah, they all go to their corners and do their whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We're three songs into the record, and Gene hasn't even played bass on the record.
Yeah,
at all. So, but I think "Talk to Me" is great. It's in an alternate tuning, and it's very creative. I think his melody line. I think it's a pretty well crafted song, and it's very Ace Frehley,
Yeah,
which is really,
those
really
drums too, isn't it? It's like those "Talk to Me," like all those little breaks and that are very. I mean, you could say that could have been a little pointer that was probably not being Peter Criss as well.
I am of the opinion I would have wanted Anton Fig to stay in the band, because I'm a huge Anton Fig fan, and he is a phenomenal drummer, just a phenomenal
top
drummer.
level. Yeah.
So I play "Talk to Me" for sure. Joe.
Yeah, I mean it's vintage Ace Frehley. It sounds like it could have come off of Dynasty. It could have come off of his solo record, and it's definitely him again planting the flag and going, "Hey guys, we should be a rock band,
right?
Not doing this other stuff that you guys want to do." So I'm gonna go over here and make a rock record, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it's strong. I think it's fine. It's a fine song for me. I would be kind of in that in-between area on skip or play, because I don't really care about it one way or the other, but I'll go ahead and say play just for fun.
Well, I honestly thought you would have destroyed this record by now, Joe.
No?
Just destroyed.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's coming, though, right?
A little bit.
All right. Naked City, Nicholas.
Yeah, it's okay. It's very Gene. It does, again, it sounds like it's the sister of Charisma kind of thing, in that kind of same thing, and it could have also come off his solo album. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, for Gene. My favorite thing lately is the one from the Swedish, the Jamaican version. Have you heard
Yes!
the reggae Kiss version? Actually, is 10 times better than the original Kiss song.
Babylon, millionaires, lonely people, lonely stage. I'm looking for love, lost in this night. In this naked city, there are 10 million stories. I'm not looking for pity. Let's get naked in the city.
We'll play a little bit of it here.
fantastic.
It's very, very faithfully done to Bob Marley in the Wailers style, you know.
I think it lends itself
I
well.
like the Jamaican version.
Yeah, it lends itself well to that style, and I think Gene even tweeted about it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty
one of them shared it, or Paul or Gene shared it
I
recently.
think Gene shared
But
it.
it's very faithful. They've recreated that 1970s sound of the Wailers and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So Naked City is this. We see Bob Kulick back, with some song.
Yeah.
He's.
I'll say play. Sorry, I forgot to say. Play.
Oh yeah. You'll say
Yeah,
play,
but not love. But yeah.
So Naked City, it's the first track on the record that actually has Paul, Gene, and Ace on it that we're aware of, and Naked City is probably my second favorite song on the record. I love how mysterious it is. And of course I remember the Countdown television special. I remember seeing that one. We first got bootlegs circulating back in the late '80s or whatever, and the Countdown special from Australia. They're filming them in New York, and they're walking through New York City at night, and Naked City is playing, and it's very mysterious to me, and it really just.
I haven't seen that.
Countdown? We'll find it.
Yeah, not the other, because the She's So European and Talk to Me is on Countdown, but that's the German Countdown, which is something different.
Yeah, no, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's Countdown
The
from
Aussie-
Australia, and they're interviewing the band, and they're actually in New York City. So,
Hey, I'll take you someplace where you can see all of New York. The World Trade Center.
and it's at night. It's really, really cool. But anyway, the point being, I love the mood of Naked City. I love the guitar parts in it. It's got this cool layered guitar part in it I think is fantastic. It's got a very, very cool bass line.
Gene's vocals are higher, aren't they? He's
Yes,
singing
they're
in it.
higher. So it's my second favorite song on the album, and it's a play all day long for me.
I mean, I think you're right, Jason. I think it's very evocative. It has a very kind of storytelling quality. But what a shit song! Holy hell, is it bad? It is. Yeah, it is. It is lifeless and flaccid and garbage, and it feels like a complete throwaway. This feels to me like a precursor of Gene going, "What else can I do? I don't really want to be doing this. This is like Animalized. Here it comes," and you know what I mean. Like all this stuff where he just sort of was like doing other things and not interested in anything but the stardom and the fame. This to me is terrible. If I never heard it again, it would be too soon.
Can I insert that "You're Wrong" clip right here?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Knock yourself out. That's fine. It's terrible.
It's fascinating. I can't believe you think that song is terrible.
I mean, lyrically, he's kind of going in that same place where he's, Gene's picked up some, Pulp Fiction thing of like "Lonely as the Hunter" and "In the Naked City," and it's very the lyrics are very kind of, it's like.
It does. It sets me
just
right
feels-
in the mood of those Animalized songs that are just like these throwaway bullshit. Yeah.
Wow.
I love. So I had to read from the book of this great book, which is Behind the Mask. Obviously, you know it. But it says Gene Simmons said, "Bob Kulick played me the riff for Naked City. He said, 'This is awful. We have to rewrite this,'" which I loved. So this is the second version, Joe. This is
Wow.
when they made it better.
Wow.
What a stinker it must have been for Joe.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
This is the song that they had to give the paddles to. This is the result of it waking up.
Yeah.
After getting
So Bob
shot.
co-wrote it, didn't he? I think, yeah.
Yeah, Bob co-wrote it, and you've got Pepe Castro and Vinny Ponce.
Fidel Castro's brother, yeah.
Fidel Castro's brother.
Yeah.
Flew down to Cuba.
Less successful, brother.
Yeah. Naked City is about stripping away the city from its capitalistic confines to introduce communism. No,
it's clearly about Havana. So.
It's about stripping good taste away from musicality, I think.
Oh God,
Havana. I'll have another song. Yeah.
Castro's brother co-wrote it, and Castro thought it was bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the
Mom
whole
and
Bay
Dad, I
is
told you
about.
he sucked.
Exactly.
You spend all
That's why I
this
said,
money.
no more American music. It's like,
You spend all this money for lessons, and this is the shit he turns out? You suck, Mom and Dad.
Oh my God. All right. Moving on. What makes the world go round?
Not this song.
No. I had to make some notes and research what makes the world go round, and I looked at it was the remaining gas and dust flattened into rotating protoplanetary disk. With this swirling debris, rocky particles begin to collide, forming larger masses to be attracted via more particles by gravity. So that's what makes the world go round.
We're going to insert Neil deGrasse Tyson here.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
Ha ha ha! Thank you, Neil, for that.
What makes the world go round?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. What does Paul say about it?
I can tell you what Joe says about it.
Exactly. Yes. What makes the world go round? This one, yeah. This was a single, I think, as well. It was an attempted single in some
countries.
I think in Britain or
They're
something.
all attempted singles.
Yeah. You're probably right. You're probably 100% right. They're all trying to have a pop hit kind of out. This one has, this one feels like Unmasked sound by the numbers to me a little bit. It has the sound of the whole record, and there's not much which stands out on this song, which I particularly. Yeah, I think this one is a skip for me, actually. Is this my first skip? No, second skip after. Is that you? This is another skip.
Okay, what makes the world go around? Of course, I love every song on the record. That being said, if I was going to skip any song on the record, it's probably this one. I'm not.
If you were in the naked city, Jason, and somebody put a gun to your head,
I was in Havana,
you had to skip
someone
one
put
song.
a gun to my head like they would.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
If I was going to skip one, I would skip this one. However, I do love the bridge in the song where Paul is doing the callback vocals. I love that. Stacy loves it. I think it's really well crafted.
You can tell Stacy she's wrong too.
She's wrong too. And but I think the chorus, for me, the song that what hurts the song the most is the chorus. I'm not a big fan of the chorus. I love the verses and I love that bridge, but the chorus really drops out for me. So if I was going to skip one, it would be What Makes the World Go Around. However, I don't skip it. So, but if I was forced to, it would be the one on the record. And Paul plays on this as well.
I'm a huge early Billy Joel fan, and this sounds like a really bad attempt at a really bad Billy Joel song. Like a Billy Joel hit to me, and it's just not good. It's not good. It doesn't have that hook. It doesn't have the big chorus that you can sing along to. There's no, where's the fist pumping kiss? Where is the, Yeah,
it does not have a well-crafted chorus for sure.
Yeah, and so it just kind of it's this lifeless we talked about the dynamics of Shandy. It just sort of lives here, and then it just sort of ends, and nobody cares.
And that's why it
was a bit flat for me too.
It is flat. And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But
it is a bit Billy Joel, isn't it? It's a bit sort of Doesn't matter about the clothes I'm wearing. It's like what makes the world go round.
It's got like that
Got that kind of-
Scooby-Doo, like,
you can imagine
you know,
in
yeah.
that yeah.
Oh.
Da 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 da. Like that's every Billy Joel song,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
no,
Yeah.
no good.
So good for Joe. So I
Again,
think
Paul does the guitar solo. So Ace doesn't seem to be appearing on anything that's not his tracks.
No,
playing
he
guitar.
does. He plays
Or
on
does
a
he do-
couple
does he do a
of
few?
things. He plays a solo on Naked City, and it's evident you can
Yeah.
hear it too. That may actually be, and he plays the guitar solo on "She's So European." So
Okay, so
outside
he
of
doesn't.
that,
So Paul does his own guitar solos on his songs, then, by the looks of it.
I think
Or
that's
unless I'm wrong.
I think that's the case on. No, Ace plays the solo on "Tomorrow."
Okay.
So, but we'll talk about it as we get there. All right. And speaking of, what about tomorrow, Nicholas?
Is that the thing that makes me think of Tomorrow is that bit in it with the
Yeah.
little clap, the clapping bit really stands out and dates this song. But actually, apart from that kind of that bit in it, I actually quite like. I think it's a good song, and this is another one which could have easily have come off his solo record.
Like it's
you said,
generally
Here Comes-
revered
Here Comes
as
the
one.
Sun.
It's here comes here comes the
Sorry.
sun. Do. So,
Yeah,
it's
nothing
generally-
like Here Comes the Sun.
I know.
No, yeah, it sounds. This is a well written Paul song. Is it a well realized song in the grand scheme of the sound? I don't know, but it's got a good chorus. This is another single, I think, in Germany or wherever. Yeah, I like Tomorrow. I think I don't have too much to say about it other than it's a play for me.
Yeah. It's generally revered as one of the better songs off the record by the fans in general. When you see discussions about this, most people tend to like Tomorrow. Joe is not most people, but it's another that Paul plays bass on, but Ace does play lead on this song. I don't know, I love Paul's vocals on it, and I think it's got a pretty cool, catchy sing-along chorus. It's a play for me.
I agree. I think it's a good song. I think it kind of reminds me of like back to the Shout It Out Loud kind of Paul Stanley. Like it has that kind of vibe to it. So yeah, I dig it. I think it's a fine song. I think it sounds dated, but I think as far as like song craft, I think it's a good song.
I think coming out of the verses, that particular Ace lick that you hear that is clearly Ace, and that tone of that guitar coming into the chorus, I love that. I think that ties the verse and the chorus together really well. I enjoy it.
So and I'll go to the book because this is an interesting quote, and I know when I listen to Pot of Thunder, they pull up some stuff where Gene and Paul seem to say it was great until the other guys stuff with it, or they always say the demo was better. It's like almost every second quote is, you should have heard the demo before, they ruined my vision kind of thing. But Paul actually says it originally didn't sound like that. It was much harder and had a lot of guitar. Vinnie Ponce's background was a little different, a little bit more polished, a little poppier, so it came out a little different than it was originally supposed to be. It was a guitar song. We wound up with all these keyboards. It just kind of got diffused, distilled, diluted. So
you could see it being like the song soundtrack behind like an amusement park commercial or something. The way that from like the early '80s, it just is like that cheesy. Yeah. It just turns out cheesy. But that's why I was saying, from a song craft perspective, I think it's good Paul Stanley songwriting. I just think it's failed in its, not even the production of it, but it's just the trappings of the time that were added in.
Interesting.
It could be an old Coca-Cola ad, like tomorrow we're gonna fall in love, like one of those summer kind of things go better with Coke kind of ad.
I didn't know just what to do. I couldn't seem to take my eyes off you. You know I wanted just to take you home, but that's not your style. And tomorrow we're gonna fall in love. Tomorrow we're gonna fall in love.
Yeah.
Where you see the couple in the two bathtubs holding hands in the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. In a bath full of Coca-Cola.
Two sides of the coin.
Of the coin. My favourite talk show.
Two sides of a coin.
Yeah. Two sides of a coin. Maybe it was after he's freebasing
a coin.
freebasing cocaine.
Coin, right.
He'll flip, you know.
Right.
It's like, I don't know.
Jesus.
Yeah, I love this song. Great chorus, classic Ace, classic nuttiness of Ace. You know. Sorry, this is another one which I had to read out with you because he says, I love this is Ace's unclearness. At the time, I think I wasn't getting along with my wife and was seeing someone else. Two sides of the coin. Or it could have been two girlfriends. I don't know, it laughs. Maybe my wife wasn't very involved at all.
Oh, that Ace.
I know some girls were involved. One of them could have been my wife. One of them not. This is like his... But yeah, this has got a cool guitar solo. Ace plays the bass on this one as well. Ace of bass. And yeah, I like this one. Basically, everything from this album that Ace's songs get a big thumbs up from me. So this is a definite play. I love Sides of the Coin.
Yeah, it's definitely all the reasons you mentioned. Definitely a play for me. I enjoy it. It's typical Ace. It actually has the songs off this record definitely kind of dovetail into what he started doing with Fraley's Comet and the sounds of those types of songs. They're very different than Strange Ways and Parasite and Cold Gin. You could definitely tell that he hit some kind of idea of song structure and writing around 79 and 1980, and it just really followed him all the way through the 80s with all the Fraley's Comet stuff, which I enjoy for the most part. But it's definitely a play for me. I love Two Sides of the Coin.
Yeah, I think
he was...
Go ahead.
Sorry, you go.
Oh, no, it's right. Go.
No, I was just before you say. I was just going to say he was certainly flexing his muscles as one of the chief songwriters now. Same as with 3 songs on both albums. Like I think he had as many as Gene on Dynasty as well.
More than
so. He's obviously come. Yeah, he's actually coming into his own as I'm one of the chief songwriters. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I think it's fine. I'm kind of in between. It's neither here nor there for me. I think it's more good Ace, which is fine. I don't think it's like a huge standout or anything. It's a standout on this record, but I don't know if it's a standout in Ace's catalog, as he moves forward. But yeah, it's good. It's all right.
So are you playing it, skipping it, pausing it?
Yeah. It's like a grudging play. I'll play like a minute and a half and be like, yeah, I'm over this. It's like more of the same.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, She's So European, Nicholas.
Yep. This is another one that ended up. We saw a video for Gene with his hair at its most permed. Yeah, the one stands out. This is a pretty awful song. It's a pretty bad song. It's sort of catchy, but not catchy enough. I think he sort of wrote that. Maybe he just scribbled it down on a notepad. She's So European kind of sounded good to him. It's another. It feels like a bit of an afterthought and exactly a sister to Naked City in ways for me. It's got that weird kind of keyboard solo in the bridge. Also, is it the guitar solo? I forget which. There's that sort of it kind of it just sort of plays
the guitar part.
I think, yeah, but I mean, it's got the key. It's got the keyboards, the piano kind of playing underneath it and stuff. Yeah, this one's a skip for me. I don't know what happened to Gene's songwriting around this time, but it went. Yeah,
she's so European. I think the way it looks like everybody plays on it, and Anton. It is a silly fucking song lyrically, but you said something, Nicholas, that was exactly how I was feeling about it. This is a goofy fucking song, but it's really catchy. and I find myself singing along to it, and so I enjoy it, for as silly as it is. But you know,
Can you hit the high note? Can you go all through the night? She must be dreaming. No. Can you do that?
At one point in time in my life, but I'm not doing it right now. Joe, you try.
Perform for us, Jason.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
doing
exactly.
that. Get out my guitar. So, yeah, we're supposed to be. That's the Kiss My Collectibles concert for the quarantined or something. Is that going to be the next episode? No. I know you play guitar, Nicholas. So.
Yeah. Skip, Joe says.
Skip.
Yeah, I would delete this.
But that being said, I do play this song. I enjoy this song.
Yeah.
It's goofy as fuck, but I enjoy it. So.
Joe.
Yeah. If there was a mission to the sun where they were going to shoot something directly into the center of the sun and to incinerate it, this song should be on the tip of the missile as they fire it into space. This is terrible. This song is awful. And to me,
terrible.
A precursor to some of the horrible stuff that's coming down the road from Gene. Holy hell in a handbasket.
I'm just sending out a warning.
Yeah, right.
This is my warning. It's only going to get shitter from here.
It's going to suck for like the next 18 years. Everybody hold on.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Joe.
It are not good.
Not good.
Awful.
All right, we got it. All right, easy as it seems, Nicholas.
This one I'll call guilty pleasure. I shouldn't like it, but that funky bass line that Paul plays.
You're right, Nicholas. You should have stopped. You should have stopped right there. You shouldn't like it.
I love this song. This reminds me
Holy
of
moly.
1980 Australia, Kiss show bags on Countdown, even though this song wasn't one of the ones, but it feels like of that. It's the most poppest. It's got a funky bass line. It's got a great chorus. And even the keyboard solo, I find myself, I go, this is the cheesiest song on the album, but Gene Dad did a bad song cheesy. This is super cheesy, but good cheesy. It just shows you Paul, even when Paul does cheesy, it's slightly better songwriting on this album. So I think it's a really well-written song. And this one is up there with Shandy and Talk to Me as a play, just because it's very naff. It's good. It's goofy too, but it's good goofy. And Gene showed us bad goofy.
I concur. I love it. I think it's well-written. I enjoy it. You can sing along with it. Who cares about your scowl, Joe? It's a great song. Easy as it seems. It's a play. That's all I need to say. Let's hear it. Shoot it to the moon.
Yeah,
Mars.
no thanks. No thanks. There should be a viral video about how this song should be destroyed. It's awful.
Why do you hate it?
I just feel, I feel like it's lifeless. I feel like it's a throwaway. I feel like it again is one of those songs that doesn't really have any dynamics. It just sort of sits in a space and I think the beginning is terrible. I think I hate all of it.
I love that. I love the bass line.
It's awful. Yeah.
No, seriously. Seriously, guys. It's really terrible.
It's very bad.
Don't listen to these knuckleheads.
Writing a hit isn't as easy as it seems, apparently.
Oh, boy. The end of this record isn't looking too good for Joe. Torpedo Girl, Nicholas. Defend it.
Yeah, I love it.
I like how Jason's just now like, defend it. Yeah. Joe's a rabid animal. He's got this. He's got this record in his jaws.
This is great. The way Ace would play bass. Back to my tongue twisters again. But the way Ace would put bass lines within his songs, they're really quite clever. That the whole. Because you got the dum 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 dum, that kind of bass line of his, and then over the top he's going dum dum dum, like playing those. They're actually almost working alongside each other very differently. He did a very similar thing in I think Hard Times was the other one where he uses the bass line and the guitar to do something different, and you can really spot now that we know obviously that it's definitely not a Gene style bass line, and I love the bass and the guitar. It's a crazy song. And a very silly, but when it hits the chorus, it's a very catchy chorus, and very as well, the thing I really loved towards the end, which must have been a giveaway, was doesn't it end with some double bass drum parts? It's I think Anton's like
Yep.
just keeping them going at that part right
Yeah.
there, and you go, "There's no way in a billion years Peter could have
Probably
performed that bit." Yeah,
probably the first song with double bass, first Kiss song with double bass ever
Double
on an
bass,
album.
yeah.
I would think
Absolutely.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
it was
it's
something
really-
that stood out to
really
me
catchy
on.
chorus.
It was something that stood out to me on this listen of the record was how there's double
Yeah.
bass there that I hadn't remembered.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But super catchy. Yeah, another showing that Ace could write a pop song just as well as the other guys.
Yeah.
If Joe hates this, he's going to say Ace could write a pop song just as well as the other guys.
And he proved it.
He proved. Yeah, I love this one. This is a play as well. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, goofy fucking song. Absolutely brilliant sing-along chorus. And some incredible playing on this song. The drums are phenomenal. Ace's bass playing is great. The riff at the beginning of the song, the riff of the song in general is difficult as hell to play. It's nothing simple. There's a lot of really good playing on this record, all the way around, from all the guys, even on their non-traditional instruments. Take away the goofiness and the silliness and the production of some of these songs, and you've still got some really great playing. Torpedo Girl is definitely a play for me. All right, Joe.
It's all right. It's all right for me. I think the lyrics are dreadful. I think it's ridiculously dreadful from a lyric standpoint. I think the song's okay. I think the chorus is very good. I think the beginning's bad with the bass and all that stuff. Although, Ace is proficient on the bass. I just didn't, not for me.
Do you know what he's started around here is his call out into the solo. So in two sides of the chorus, like choose one, and then this one it's like come on, get your feet wet. It's like it's only a few steps away from CC, pick a bad guitar and talk to me.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Bret Michaels, that kind of that talking into the Bruce in that Gene does in later ones. The call out straight into the guitar solo.
He should have called himself out and said, "Ace, Frehley, lead guitar."
Ace, what? Confuses himself. What? Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a fun one. I can't wait. So, you're all that I want, Nicholas.
Yeah, this is terrible. This is. I think this. Did I say that already? But I may have called out another song. But this is the worst song on the album, I think. Yeah, I don't like it at all. And then, they'll probably say something like the demo version, which we'll play here, is better. But the demo version is just as bad as well. And this really sounds like Gene's solo album, like one of those bad middle tracks on his solo album. Yeah, I really don't like. Actually, its only saving grace for me is some of the Paul call-outs near the end, where Paul starts coming in with his vocal parts, but yeah, the rest of it is this is bad. Gene again, boring. Skip. We've started with a skip. We've ended with a skip for me. So, yeah.
All right. So I know where this is going.
Jason's love for this song is legendary.
Yeah.
Joe's loading it up on the rocket as we speak.
Pull.
Yeah. Yes. More than Detroit Rock City, more than Deuce, more than Strutter, more than any of that stuff. This is hands down, by far and away, my absolute favorite Kiss song in the entire catalog. I enjoy it more than all of those classic songs. Way more.
I think my
play
mouth's open. My
I can
jaw's
play this thing 100 times in a row, never be tired of it. I absolutely love this song. I unabashedly, non-embarrassed love You're All That I Want. It's my favorite Kiss song in the catalog, by far. I love Gene's vocals. I love the interplay, the callback between Paul and Gene. The guitar solo is phenomenal and difficult as fuck to play. I love it. There's nothing about it that I don't like. I think it's a wonderfully written pop song. I don't care what you guys think about it. I love it. Absolute play. First song I play. of the whole catalog. Let's hear it, Joe.
Well, that's really high and pretty ridiculous praise for that song.
That is fine with me.
I mean, there's obvious reasons why, all those other songs, they're played all the time, and this would go over like a fart in church if they tried to play it live, and it would not be good. However, it's a good song. I play it. I like it. I think it's good.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
We were just talking the other day about...
I was just kidding. No, I dig it.
Oh, you're fucking...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I think it's a well written song, but that's kind of where it ends for me. Like, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
There is something about, and I can't explain it, but there is something about when this song comes on to me, and it's been like that for... I wouldn't say... It hasn't always been my favorite Kiss song. When I was young, it was like Black Diamond and that sort of thing. But somewhere along the way, 20, 25 years ago, I just was listening to it, and it just really, really, really appealed to me, to my ear. And I don't know, man, I love it. I never, ever tire of it.
It has an interesting, the chorus for me, the way that the rhythmic chorus has that kind of like fist pumping kind of, it's got that very kind of sing along fist pump kind of chorus. It just never reaches that height of, this is something I gotta play. I mean, it's fine. It's a good song, but
have either of you ever heard the live version of it?
I don't know that I have.
Yeah, they played it on the European tour, and there are a couple of bootlegs of it out there. They're not the greatest quality in the world.
Can we play some audio?
Oh yes, absolutely. I'll find it. I'll find it and play it in right here. But it's definitely much heavier live. Not that I prefer that, but it's interesting because clearly when Gene recorded this, he's not in demon mode. But when he sings it live, he's in demon mode. So it's yes, it's a lot of that. Ooh yeah, and it's all in there. So and it's got this big echo on it, and they play it faster. It's interesting. I would be interested to hear what y'all's takes.
Yeah. I'd like to hear that one. Yeah, I can't stand this song, but it's weird. It's weird. I suppose there's certain different sounds that appeal to our ears differently. I'm going to jump forward just one album to ask you one quick question. Do you like I? The song I?
Me?
Yes, Jason. No, I'm just because you love it so much.
I do love that.
That is by far my worst song in the entire catalogue. So it's interesting that obviously there's things that we like are very, very different, or things that we hate are very, very different.
I love I as well. I think it's a great song. Another one of those fist pumping kind of.
I skip that one every single time.
Very rhythmic, very kind of groovy. I dig it.
Yeah. That being said, it's not my favorite song on the Elder, but I do like I a lot. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can't listen to it. It's awful.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Anyway,
we'll talk about
we will touch on that in a future.
We'll touch on that at some point in time. So
where Dave Scott will come on and be the counter, the backup Jason,
the fanboy. Yeah.
Man, that's going to be rough. I'm going to be preparing my rocket for that album.
I'm sorry, guys. I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but I don't know, man. I have a special place in my heart for almost every one of these records. And that it's funny that 79 to 83 period is my favorite era of the band because it's so vastly different on the album level. There's so many things going on. I remember getting History, the book, the first time, and I didn't start reading from the first. I started reading from Dynasty. So I read Dynasty to Creatures of the Night, and then I went back and started the book over because that's the most fascinating period. And it's probably because I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old then, and that's when I got into the band. So it's just fascinating to me. And I first saw them on the Creatures tour and all. So
see, it's weird for me because Dynasty has that place in my heart. Unmasked is almost like a forgotten record for me.
Yeah.
I just honestly, if I never heard any of those songs again, I'd be like, nah, whatever. And
it was forgotten in the States, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
no one cared about it.
I never played this record. The only song I would ever, maybe if I was going through a catalog, hit on it is That You? Yeah, couldn't really care less.
I got it for Christmas in 1980. I remember I was at my aunt's house. I remember it was wrapped up in wrapping paper, and I remember opening it up, and it was a new Kiss record for me. I'd never seen it before. I was 5 years old, man.
You're all that I wanted.
Oh my God! And I went and threw it on, and I've been in love with it ever since, and I just love it. And Creatures is the same way. Yeah, Creatures is my favorite album in the catalog, but then Unmasked is my second favorite, and people just scratch their heads at that.
I must admit, out of all the albums, this has benefited the most from those remasters. And the 2014 version, just the bass is now. I remember listening to it even on my CD, and and I remember the bass being very low. It was a very trebly album. This one, definitely, they'd sort of followed Dynasty, but they'd gone that Raspberries route of being super trebly. But the 2014 versions that came out, even on Spotify, the bass is just a lot more souped up, and I really like that sound. So this album has, on a sonic level, improved vastly in the last few years than I ever thought before. It was always missing a bit of the bass for me.
Although it does clear up that age-old question that if you add bass into a bad record, does it make it a good record? And the resounding answer is no. So there you have it.
There you have it, Unmasked, folks. Tell us what you think of Unmasked. Not skip or play. Excuse me. Not skip or play the record. Skip or play each song individually. Put your list down in the comments of wherever you are watching this or listening to it, and we would love to hear from you. So,
there
is that it, guys?
That's it.
That's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next one.
Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not. This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast. What you mean?